KTLA5.
Now at noon, we're learning more about what happened after Hollywood icon Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were killed, allegedly, at the hands of their own son. Thanks for joining us for the KTLA 5 News at noon. I'm Glenn Walker.
And I'm Lou Parker. Nick Reiner is in custody, accused of killing his parents over the weekend.
He was expected to make his first court appearance this week. We have live team coverage of this Hollywood tragedy, starting with KTLA 5's Aaron Myers in downtown Los Angeles with the latest developments in the investigation. Aaron?
Hi, you two. Well, we are outside the Hall of Justice, where the district attorney will be holding a news conference in just about an hour to talk about this case. As you said, there is a chance, we had been hearing, that Nick Reiner would be in court today. His attorney, though, said that will not be happening.
Every inmate has to be medically cleared before they can be transported to court. He has not been medically cleared. It's just a procedural issue. I have not received any filing, and I don't believe the court has received any filing at this point. We'll be back day to day. The bailiff has indicated that the sheriff's department will take it on a day-by-day basis, and so hopefully he'll be cleared tomorrow, and we can get him here.
Our Eric Spillman spoke with prominent defense attorney Alan Jackson this morning. He is representing Nick Reiner, but would not say who hired him to represent the 32-year-old who was arrested late Sunday night. The LAPD released these photos of that arrest, which happened near a metro station close to USC around 9:15 that night. He was booked early the next morning for suspicion of murder in connection to the deaths of his father, Rob Reiner, and his mother, Michelle Singer Reiner. According to the LA Times, the couple and Nick attended a party at Conan O'Brien's home Saturday night. It said Rob and Nick got into a heated argument and Rob left the party with his wife. Now, it's not known when Nick left the party, but TMZ reports he checked into this Santa Monica hotel early Sunday morning using his credit card. TMZ reporting that staff found the shower and bed bloody. That afternoon, Rob Reiner and his wife were found dead in their Brentwood home. CNN reporting the couple's daughter, Romy, found their bodies, telling police her brother was dangerous. Now, Nick Reiner has had a very public struggle with addiction and has been in and out of rehab centers over the course of his life, and was even struggling with periods of homelessness, speaking about those struggles at times.
It's the same old story that everybody has. I kind of linked up with this old dealer, and I was, he was a heroin dealer, and basically I started doing heroin.
Well, how did you link up? How did you link up with him in the first place? Like, how did that happen? Did you want the dope?
No, I kind of like one day I was like, I want to buy a bag of Coke, and I kind of messaged him or something, and we met up, and he was like, oh, I also have some heroin. And that turned into me hanging out with him for like 3 weeks, like doing heroin.
It said Nick was living in one of his parents' guest houses, and though his state of mind before the death of his parents isn't known, TMZ is reporting his mother, Michelle, had spoken to friends in recent weeks about his mental health and addiction issues, saying, we tried everything. We spoke with KTLA legal expert Allison Treasel about the charges Nick Reiner could face.
There will be, we know, 2 counts of murder, but there may also be additional special allegations. If there are special circumstances, for example, lying in wait, financial gain, multiple victims, it would make Nick Reiner eligible for the death penalty.
Reiner is currently being held without bail and is said to be on suicide watch. Once again, District Attorney Nathan Hochman is expected to speak around 1 o'clock this afternoon, so just about an hour, and we'll bring that to you live. Reporting live here in downtown, I'm Aaron Myers. I'll send it back to you both in the studio.
Aaron, thank you. And tributes continue to pour in on the death of Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. KTLA 5's Alina Bovian is in Hollywood with reaction from some fans. Hi, Alina.
Hi there, Lou. Well, Rob Reiner, he is responsible for so many of the classics, the movies that we love, because he was part of a generation in Hollywood between the 80s and the 90s where movies just hit differently. So people are remembering him and paying tribute. Now, take a look behind me. This is his star here on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Rob Reiner received the star in 1999, and it just speaks to the vastness of his career. He stood out not only for the way he was a storyteller, but also his voice and the characters he would play and the characters he brought to life. The Hollywood Chamber of Commerce and the Hollywood Historic Trust placing this memorial here on Monday following news of his tragic death in honor of the legendary actor, director, and producer. Since then, people have been stopping by to leave flowers and a candle, and people saying how much he meant to them.
I think it's just tragedy. Anybody, what happened is just horrible, whether it's Hollywood or anybody, and it just is, I'm very, his political views have no difference on me. I mean, it's just a tragedy altogether.
I'm of the same generation, so I grew up with All in the Family, and that was a huge impact on my life. And then it was really a turning point in our society as far as what was happening on television. And then he started getting into the film industry, and that was very much an impact on my son's life, who was born in 1978. And so we have so many wonderful memories of his growing up, from Princess Bride to Spinal Tap.
And speaking of television, the star here, Carl Reiner, Rob Reiner's father, right next to his son's star. And it really speaks to the legacy of this family and their contribution to the world of movies and television. That is the very latest. I'm Lena Bourbon reporting live here in Hollywood.
And new details about the deadly terrorist attack at a Hanukkah event on Bondi Beach in Australia that claimed at least 15 lives over the weekend. Authorities now say the father-son duo were driven by Islamic State ideology. Australia's Prime Minister says the gunmen were inspired by ISIS after traveling to the southern Philippines. Investigators believe the father and son acted alone and were not part of a wider terror cell. The father died in a shootout with police, while the 24-year-old son is in custody at the hospital and is expected to face significant charges. 15 victims died in that shooting over the weekend, including children, 2 rabbis, and a Holocaust survivor.
We're following more developing news. Authorities in Rhode Island are releasing new images of a suspect in the Brown University mass shooting.
Our Samantha Cortese joins us live from the KTLA News Center with some details. Hi, Samantha.
Hi, Glenn and Lou. It's been nearly 3 days and still no arrest, and that's concerning to the community there. Just 1 hour ago, Providence police provided the clearest look yet at the suspected gunman who killed 2 people and hurt 9 more at Brown University. This is an image of that suspected shooter. Again, this was just released by police. In addition to that photo, they have released footage showing a man in dark clothing and a mask walking through a neighborhood near the campus hours before the first 911 calls came in Saturday afternoon. Authorities described this man as 5'8", with a stocky build with a specific gait. Investigators say he targeted Brown University specifically. He used a 9mm handgun in the shooting, firing off several rounds. The victims have been identified as Ella Cook, a sophomore from Alabama and vice president of the Republican Club on campus, and Muhammad Umarzakov, president of the school's Model UN. He grew up in Virginia after his parents moved from Uzbekistan. The mayor of Providence says this is difficult for the small college community.
We're all 2 degrees of separation from one another. It's starting to get very personal for our community, which is hard. And that's, I think, where we are sort of emotionally in the process. But we're here from one another.
Investigators returned to the area around the shooting last night, looking in bushes after snow fell, by the way. It's snowy there. They're looking for clues. Federal agents went door to door at homes and businesses looking for more surveillance video. Authorities say the shooter is believed to be armed and dangerous, but they do say they don't believe he is a continued threat to the public. A person of interest detained earlier in connection with the attack has been cleared. So the community is now worried that early focus on that person may have delayed the investigation by at least a day.
Are you concerned that the more time passes, it'll be harder to make an arrest?
I tell you,
It's been a couple days.
Every minute counts. Every minute counts. But what doesn't stop is the dedication and professionalism.
The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the suspect. They say no bit of information is too small. In the news center, Samantha Cortese, KTLA 5 News.
Breaking news, a doctor who pled guilty for his role in the death of Friends star Matthew Perry will spend less than a year in home confinement. Dr. Mark Chavez was sentenced to 8 months home confinement, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Chavez admitted to fraudulently obtaining ketamine from his former clinic and a wholesale distributor. He then sold the ketamine to Dr. Salvador Plasencia, who passed it on to Perry. Chavez told prosecutors that he was aware the drugs were going to Perry and the actor was administering them himself. Plasencia surrendered his medical license as was sentenced to 30 months in prison earlier this month. Chavez also agreed to surrender his medical license and faces up to 10 years in federal prison.
Following a backlash about sky-high ticket prices, 2026 World Cup organizers are announcing a new tier of less expensive tickets.
Yeah, but only a fraction of the seats will be sold at these reduced prices. FIFA says that there will be tickets allocated for all 104 matches starting at $60. They're calling it the supporter entry tier, but there is a catch. You must be a member of what FIFA calls a participating member association. So for Team USA fans, you must become a member of the national team's Insider Fan Club. Then in January, USA Soccer will send messages, a code, and then you can apply for tickets on the World Cup website. FIFA says about 1,000 of these seats will be available for each match. That's a lot of work.
They get all your information.
Right, and you also probably pay for that too.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe you have to pay a membership to join this club.
Yeah.
But you can sit home and watch it free on TV.
Yeah, you sure can. Yeah. No traffic to fight, Glenn, too. Hazy sunshine off in the distance from our camera at LAX, our coastal spots. We'll continue to see that cloud coverage lingering for another couple hours. 60 at LAX right now at 64 in Oxnard, 63 in Fullerton, and 64 in Big Bear. Still seeing some fog off the coast and just for a little bit of inland Orange County. Again, that will clear over the next few hours. Temperatures today inland for these valleys, it is going to be well above average again. 84 for Santa Clarita, 86 in Woodland Hills today, 71 for Palm.